All right, people. Britain has fallen so badly, and there's so many videos of Britain's Islamization coming out that sometimes I don't even think about reporting on them, but then I remind myself that this is not the new norm. We never have to accept that. Although a lot of people have just accepted it. We've seen the streets of Britain. We've seen so many neighborhoods in England and now increasingly in Australia and America and Canada where people have just accepted it as normal, that this is normal. But I have told myself that no, I have to keep reporting on them because this is not normal. Have a look at this. So this is an AGM of some British council, totally overrun by Muslims of Pakistani origin. Again, this is not a council meeting in Islamabad or some other Muslim country. It is taking place in England, where people who are running these councils are speaking in broken English, and look at what they are discussing. The lefties and the champions of women's rights will tell you that this is normal, accepted, and look the other way. Pathetic.
Very inclusive, and it has to be. I think all our institutions must be like a mainstream, inclusive, regardless of race, religion, whatsoever. So you mentioned about women's activities. So as far as this AGM is concerned, did the committee invited any women, respective women from our society? If yes, then why not be a bit low?
Okay, so this English was so bad, and then even the subtitles didn't make any sense. So I'll tell you because he's a Pakistani, and I can tell you how they speak English. So he's basically saying, are there any women invited to this AGM? And then he goes on to say that, oh, because we respect women, by respecting women, they're not supposed to be here because there are so many prying eyes. There's so many men. And as you can see, there's so many Muslim men. Look, there's not a single woman there. And even though there are no women here, this Pakistani guy, he's asking, have you invited any women? Because, we respect women. We don't want these men to ogle at them. That's the point. That's the question. And I have a look at the answer.
It's a valid point.
It's a valid point, by the way. Yeah. We don't want women here. Where are those lunatic lefty woke women? Where are they who simp for these cultures and these people? Where are they? You can't hate these people enough, guys.
We all know that this is a male-dominated society.
We all know that this is a male-dominated society. Britain is now officially a patriarchal society. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that progressives who champion women's rights will become so progressive that they will invite cultures that are antithetical to women's freedom? Who would have thought that? Gays for Gaza, chickens for KFC. A woman defending Islam is like a black person defending slavery. Pathetic.
You've got two very prominent females.
Oh?
Salma Ben.
Not Ben. Salma Behen means Salma sister. So they're saying we've got two prominent women. Oh, just two. But we got to do something about them, They got to stay at home, look after the kids, or make more babies. They're not allowed to come here.
Female. Salma Ben on our executive committee, and Sophia Ben from the she's a lawyer who's active.
This Muslim is getting upset, I think, because he's trying to give us a little peek into this council meeting.
Because the male-dominated society.
It's a male-dominated society. It is a male-dominated society. And when there are no women, it's not that they give you anything else. Look at this. This is a local council meeting in Tower Hamlets, overrun by Bangladeshis and Pakistanis. Look, they're outside having a fight. How civilized. Look at all these fine British gentlemen. British gentlemen, cheerio! Look at all these fine British gentlemen. Isn't diversity our strength? Oh my goodness. Having fun? Having fun? Didn't even fight. Brits didn't even fight. They just gave their country away. Here, have it. Could have given it to me. Could have given that. If you were in the mood of donating your countries because you don't care about it anymore, whatever, at least give it to a slightly more advanced culture. You've given it to people who are not even from this century. Okay, if that wasn't enough, have a look at this video. This is an oath ceremony. It's an oath taking ceremony in Birmingham City Council. Look at this.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى.
What happened to Christianity? What happened to secularism? Why is he reciting Quranic passages? Look at this. Look at all these shameless people. All these shameless people. These one. I'm talking about these one. Not them. They're doing what's right by them. What they think is right. Look at these dhimmis. Shameless. I would have walked out, guys. If I couldn't do anything, I would have walked out. What is this? I would have heckled. I would have protested. I would have said, what is this? And you have to do it. Unless you do it, they'll keep doing it. Look at this. Look how pathetic this is. This is Scotland. So they just held their election. Look at this Pakistani man. Takes his oath in broken English. He can't even speak English properly. He didn't even say Bismillah. I mean, this guy didn't say Bismillah, but he had to say Bismillah. They had to smuggle their God in.
Ini Maggie Chapman dinutiza no moyo wangu.
本人周一佩仅在此
She can't even speak English. This is, I think she's Vietnamese or something. Guys, what is wrong with you? I love Australia more than any other country. I've said it so many times before. But I wasn't born in this country. And even I think that I don't deserve, I have no right, I don't deserve the privilege of representing Australian people or representing Australia in Parliament. I genuinely don't believe that. A lot of people tell me, like, oh, you should get into politics. I genuinely think I'm not worthy of it. But no one can tell me that they love Australia more than I do. No one can tell me that. But look what's happening.
宣誓
मैं Simita Kumar शपथ लेती हूँ
And pledge that in all my actions, the interests of the Scottish people shall be paramount over and above that of the monarchy.
Before I begin, my allegiance is to the people of Scotland.
Well, there's a
Always
bloke.
create a fairer, more equal future where nobody is born to rule.
My affirmation is to the sovereign people of Scotland, whose interests I will always serve before those of the monarchy.
Before those of the monarchy? Is that a part of the oath? Or?
Always serve before those of the monarchy.
I następcą. Dziękuję.
That might be Gaelic, which is fine. Gaelic and Scottish and English is fine, but what's happening? What is happening? There was another oath ceremony. Look at this. Get a load of this, guys. Get a load of this. Lord Mayor of Birmingham.
I want to recognize and thank all those who have made our city great, our residents, volunteers, faith communities, charities, businesses, teachers,
What a joke.
NHS staff,
What a joke.
and everyone who worked behind the scenes.
Some people might say that, hey, Harris, what's wrong with Alok? I mean, he might be a good person, might be an honest person. I just think that no country should give critical positions of power to people who are not, at least not born here. I think that it should go deeper than that. You should be able to prove your loyalty. We shouldn't entertain people who hold different ideas, different ideas of running a society, because these things always seep into your day-to-day activities. So I think that shouldn't be allowed. But look at this. This is a mockery of it. I think these things have to happen. I think things have to get really bad because every time these videos are shared on social media, people get upset. And when they get upset, it's gonna go somewhere. Hopefully, it's gonna go to the ballot box, and we find a political solution to this, where Britain grows a spine and says, "No, we're gonna stand up for what we think is right. It's not up for debate." In Britain, we have British values. I showed you. Look at the video that I started with. Why we're not throwing every modern legislation that there probably is out there for discrimination, DEI, whatever, at them. But guess what? Nothing is going to be done. No one is even going to have a quiet word with them. So that has to change. And that can only change when we have a primary dominant culture, which is in Britain, it should be British values, British system, British history. This is what this is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we treat genders. On the one hand, oh my God, it doesn't make any sense. On the one hand, they're telling women to accept men as women. And then on the other hand, they're not even reacting to Muslim men chasing women out of council meetings. And just zoom out a little bit. What will happen as they didn't look like Taliban? They didn't have overly grown, some did, but not, the vast majority of them looked what Piers Morgan would say, perfectly normal, decent Muslims. Decent Muslims don't have decent views or what we call decent. Misogynistic, homophobic, medieval Islamic. They hold all these views. And but we're still not allowed to talk about this. But I'll keep talking about it. And you need to keep talking about it too.